Hey everybody, this is Glenn Ackerman with Energy Awareness Training, coming to you from a secret location in West Hollywood with our Wednesday evening class. It's going to be a short one today, but it's going to be one of the best classes I've ever given. And our topic today is going to be on self-sabotage. What's that? You ever heard that term, self-sabotage? It's one of the most fascinating things that I've ever come across as far as the way human beings operate. And it is one of the keys to understanding why happiness has eluded you. If you're looking for something, some objective or some goal or some outcome to make you happy. And we're going to be diving into some stuff you were never taught. You were never taught any of this. I was never taught it, and I had to find out the hard way. And now I'm making this knowledge available to everyone. So our topic today is self-sabotage. How does it work? And how does it affect you? And what can you do about it? Okay, so before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Glenn Ackerman, and I'm the founder and the head trainer, teacher of a method called Energy Awareness Training. And what that is, it's the ability to make changes in your life, the ability to move to the next level of possibility in your life and heal, discard, release all of the stuff that's been in your way or that causes interference or that causes blockages in your life. And this is kind of a new concept. If you're new to this, you hear the term energy. Energy. For a long time, it was thought, well, you're either talking about gas and oil, or you're talking about, California New Age metaphysical fluff. But I'm here to tell you that energy, the understanding of energy when it comes to the human energy system, our thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors, that all of that is cutting edge terminology and a method and a system to answer questions that we haven't been able to answer our whole lives, such as, why did the things happen to us that happened to us? Why do we still carry around a lot of these painful memories or this energies or have this chaos inside us that sometimes seems like a tug of war inside us? Why can't we be happy on a consistent basis? Why is there so much turmoil taking place, etc.? Those are questions I had for a long time. And I was looking for answers because I wanted to change things. Maybe you have something in your life you want to change. I certainly did with me. And for many, many, many years, I was on a journey to learn how to understand this kind of variety of feelings and emotions and I didn't know what to call it then, but energies, these different things that are going on inside me that I was trying to manage, some successfully, some not successfully. And when I discovered what is now known as energy awareness training, I was able to make tremendous breakthroughs in my life. And I was able to, well, let me just say, the breakthrough was, up until then, was being able to live with the negative thoughts or to live with the anxieties or live with the stress, and find ways to cope, kind of cope with having a 50-pound cannonball in your gut, just, okay, well, I guess I'll deal with it. Discovering and understanding how energy works was able me to get rid of that cannonball, to loosen and dissolve this internal chaos that was taking place, and to be able to find a consistent method, a consistent set of trainings, set of activities, very simple, that can keep you in a happy, productive, joyful state all the time, regardless of what comes your way. which almost sounds too good to be true, but it is true, and I'm a living testimonial to it, as well as many of my students all around the world. Some of them are on this broadcast or will be soon. So I want to share that with you, and it's the most fascinating topic that I could talk about. So when we're talking about energy, let me just give you the headlines here. We're talking about energy. You know, you've heard from your high school teacher that everything we're dealing with in this world is energy, that we're all made up of atoms and particles and uh, neutrons, protons, you know, which is great, you know, in science class, but I thought, well, what does that have to do with my life? You know, it's just another useless knowledge like learning algebra or, you know, the capital of New Mexico. Well, great. Well, little did I know that that knowledge was going to be paramount in my discoveries and in the work that I do, which the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to heal myself. That was number one. And I wanted to move through what I thought were limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, uh, just stuff that you know, when you say, am I living to my true potential? Am I living to what I'm capable of? And the answer, for me at least, and many for you too, is no, not living at that. I know that I could be more. I know that I could do more. I know that I could have more. And yet I'm trying, but it's sometimes I'm taking 2 steps forward and then I take 3 steps back. What's up with that? How does that work? And why, when I say I want something or that I'm making a goal, why is it that I do stuff that takes me away from that goal or is the exact opposite of what I said I wanted? That's called self-sabotage. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So energetically speaking, what I cover usually in every class I do is I mention Nikola Tesla and his immortal words that changed my life, which said that if you really want to understand, you know, the mysteries of life, the things we can't figure out, the understanding of stuff we don't understand, right? The mysteries, then you'll start to look at things in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So what he was saying there is that there's a code, there's a way of understanding the mysterious. There's a way of understanding why things happen to us that we don't understand, or why our lives have taken us to a certain place that we never thought that they'd be there. I mean, did any of us think, you know, at this time in our lives that, you know, we'd be, you know, dealing with a global pandemic and that everybody be wearing masks everywhere we'd go? Probably not. But life has a way of throwing stuff at us, and in our own lives, we've had situations, we've had occurrences that have taken place in growing up and in our family and in relationships, stuff that happened that we wanted to go this way and we ended up going the other way. Well, Tesla was onto something because he was able to codify the mysterious in terms of energy. And that's why I call my work energy awareness training, because I've taken what he said in terms of looking at things we don't understand. You know, why do things happen? Why do people come into our lives? Why do they leave our lives? Why do relationships start? Why do they go away? You know, why are we here working one job or have one life and then a few years later it's completely different? What's up with that? Now, if we could figure it out, we would have figured it out. But there's a level of reality that's below our ability to see it. It's a deeper reality, and that's the energetic worlds. Just like, you know, the table on the computer you're watching me from is made of atoms, subatomic particles that are in motion. Well, you can't see it, you know, but science can measure it. So what that means is that there's a way that we perceive things in the physical world, and there's an underlying cause, or there's an underlying reality that drives the physicality. So in other words, the easy way of saying is that which is seen comes from the unseen, that which is visible comes from the invisible. And this was a discovery I made. It's pretty well known, but it's not well known when it comes to wanting to change your life and make changes. So, in developing this work, I added to the Tesla model, and not only is the mysteries of life in energy, frequency, and vibration, but since everything is energy that we're dealing with, including people, relationships, money, health, businesses, sports, spirituality, you name it, from A to Z, if it's on this planet, it's a form of energy. Now, I've been able to identify those energy forms in terms of identifying that all energy has a power, it has a purpose, it has an intelligence, it has a direction that goes into, and it gives off information. Why is that important? Well, it it's vitally important if you want to have a good life, because so much of our lives are based on our abilities to make decisions. We make decisions every day about what's good for us and what's not good for us. Every day you're making a decision, what time you're going to go to bed, what foods are you going to eat, what people are you going to hang out with, or at least stay in contact with, what supplements you're going to take, what medicines you're going to take, whose advice you're going to listen to, whose advice you're not going to listen to, etc. So all of life is a decision. And what do we base our decisions on? Usually our logical five senses, what makes sense and what our senses tell us. And yet we recognize in so many instances, we used our five senses, we used our logic, and it was wrong. And we made the wrong decisions. It looked like the right decision. It looked like the right thing to do, but it ended up not being that. And we're gone. And then at the end of it, when we make a decision about a relationship or about a job or about moving someplace or getting involved in something, and it doesn't work out, down the line, we go, ugh, if only I had known then what I know now, I never would have done this thing, or I never would have put myself through this ordeal, whatever it may be. And you begin to realize, there were signs that it was going to turn out this way, but I didn't see them at the time, but they're so clear now after the fact, right? The relationship you got in that seemed to be the perfect man or woman, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, blows up. You think, I should have known. The signs were there, but I didn't see that. Okay. Or the job or the investment or whatever it is. So the importance of this, and this is why I say energy awareness training is the most important thing you can learn. The most important thing you can learn. If you're going to learn something, learn this. Why? You're like, why is energy awareness training the most important thing I can learn? You kidding? Because everything you're dealing with is energy, right? And you have to make decisions about everything you're dealing with. You got to make decisions about relationships. That's energy. People getting along, it's good energy. People not getting along, not good energy. You have to make decisions about money, abundance, blessings, good energy, lack, limitations, poverty, bad energy, right? Health. You got to make decisions about health, right? You're feeling healthy, feeling fantastic, great energy. You're sick, or you got the virus, bad energy. And energy gives clues on how it works. So when you become energetically aware, you've got an advantage over other people who don't see energy, because people can lie to you. Opinions, words can deceive or make you think that they're something other than they are. We've all been lied to, right? By people or situations, or thinking that things were a certain way, right? Didn't we all think New Year's? Didn't we all think 2020, it's a new decade. It's going to be the best decade yet. Happy New Year, right? Did anybody think that in a matter of months, we were going to be confined to the houses or having to wear masks or anything? We never thought that. So the point being is that as things happen to us, when you can recognize and read energy, you have a decided advantage because energy never lies. Energetic principles are always true. So when you're able to read how these frequencies work, how these vibrations work, then you'll able to know, this is good for me. This is not good for me. Get involved. That's not, don't want to get involved with that because the energy always rings true. And that's what energy awareness training is all about. And that's what I want to share with you, that I do these broadcasts every Wednesday evening to let people know about the work that I do and the education that's available. I mean, if you're going to get educated on something, you should get educated on energy because your life is energy. You're going to be making, at least 20 to 30 decisions in the next 24 hours. And if you're energetically aware, you'll have an edge on it because they're going to be based on energy. What's best for me? What should I do? What should I do about this? What should I do about that? And everything that we're doing, every activity is all energetically based. Okay, so that's a little bit about the work I do and how things work. And tonight, I want to talk to you about an aspect of my work called self-sabotage. Heard that? Self-sabotage. Now, what's interesting, I wanted to talk to you about that because I had a student this morning that I did a session with. So as part of my work in teaching energy awareness training, I teach one-on-one premium coaching, and I teach group classes, and I teach corporations and businesses because it affects whatever you're doing. You name it, business, health, money, sports, spiritual development. It's all connected to energy. So I had a student this morning, and I thought, wow, I want to share this on the broadcast tonight, because you're thinking, okay, he says it's the most important thing. Well, let me give you an example of that. So all of us coming into this earth, as we're born and we progress, living in this energetic world, we experience a variety of different energies. And maybe if you've heard me teach before, even though there's a lot of energies, there's basically two that we're dealing with, that all of the other ones come under the heading of. And it's exactly what Tesla said, it's frequency or vibration. So these two energies, I call one of them high vibration energy. Hey, Christy, good to see you. I call them high vibration energies. And then there's a low vibration energy. And the definitions are simply the high vibration energy is a higher awareness, a higher consciousness, which is happy, joyous, free, fulfilled, abundant, generous, loving, creative, right? Feeling a connection to people, to all things, having just a sense of goodness and happiness and sharing and service, all the good stuff. That's what I call the high vibration energy. Now, in this world, this energetic world, I teach a law called the law of duality, which is also called the law of opposites, which is if there's a high, there's a low. If there's a good, there's a bad. If there's a right, there's a wrong. If there's a night, there's a day, etc. So we're dealing with opposites all the time. And this is very important in your energy awareness training, to understand that whatever you're dealing with, good, bad, or ugly, there's an opposite frequency to that has the potential to affect you. And that's important to be aware of how the energies work. So you got the high vibration energy, then you got the low vibration energy. That's the stuff we don't want: anxiety, stress, worry, doubt, fear, feeling yucky, moving into a dark place. So to make it easy, one of them you feel good, one of them you don't feel good. One of them is good for your health, makes you healthier. One of them depletes your immune system. So we're dealing with these two frequencies here. Okay, so why this is so important is because in energy awareness training, what we teach is that we all come to this world And we all have stuff to heal, to resolve, to let go of, to release, or to transcend. Everybody. That's the way this planet works. It's not, oh, we're alive and let's eat, drink, and be merry and, and we'll party until we die. It doesn't work that way energetically. We're here, every human being is here for a purpose. And every human being faces the same similar struggles. Now, some people struggle more than others, and some people have more of a challenge than other people do too. But we all have to deal with, what I call our low vibration energy programs. Where do they come from? It depends upon your belief system. Some people think they come from past lives. Some people think they come from the womb. Some people think they're handed down from our ancestors. But whatever it is, when we come into this world, we have this energy package inside us, which shows up as our habits, as our desires, as our motivations, as our interests. And a lot of that's good, a lot of that's good. But a lot of it, the good is the high vibration energy. The stuff that's not good is the low vibration energy, stuff that doesn't feel good. And as we get older, that baggage that we come in, those issues become bigger and bigger because all energy expands. So when you're around high vibration energy people who are feeling good, people who are making you happy, joyful, great situations, you feel better because high vibration energy attracts more high vibration energy. But it's the same thing with the low vibration energy, all that yucky stuff. When you're around yucky people, don't you kind of feel the, if you're around somebody or something that's negative, it rubs off on you because these energies expand. So all you have to do is just turn on the news for half an hour and, it's, that's an example of what I mean. You're hearing about all this negative stuff. You're like, ugh. You can start to feel it inside you. Well, our lives, in addition to everything that we're doing, are about managing our energies. And the good energy, the high vibration energy, is here to inspire us. It's here to motivate us. It's here to have us move forward, to be more, to have more, to be more loving, to be more kind, to achieve more, whatever it is that you want to do in life, whatever your passion is. But it's the job of the low vibration energy to keep you from doing it. Yes, boys and girls, there's an energy that's actively working to try to keep you away from the high vibration energy. It's known simply as the negativity in our thoughts, the negativity in our emotions, the negativity in our history. So all of us are all dealing with an internal tug of war. We got one part of us that wants to move forward and one part that wants to hold us back. And in this world that we live in, you have to deal with those things. You have to either, you're going to deal with it or be in denial. You got two choices. I recognize, that the challenges that I had, the low vibration energy that I had in my life, in the beginning, I just thought, well, if I just ignore it, it'll go away. Well, that's not the case. You can't ignore it because energy is always expanding. And then it got to the point where it couldn't be ignored. I had to deal with this. I didn't know how to deal with it. How do you deal with this negative thought process in your head that's always putting you down, that's always, looking for the negative or trying to scare you or worry you. It's like, who's this maniac in my head? What's that voice in me that's trying to torment me, right? So you go through all these things, and you read the books and say, think positive, right? Think positive. That's all I have to do. I just have to think positive, right? No. You tried that. How's that going for you? Okay. Well, if you I won't go through all the personal development stuff, but I've got like 300 books on success, mind, all that stuff that I had from years ago. And none of that stuff worked. But when I became energetically aware, I recognized, it was like being able to see another world that's operating simultaneously. So if you've ever wondered, isn't there more? Isn't there more going on than what we see? Isn't there some? There's jigsaw puzzle, and there's a couple of parts that I haven't been told about or how this works. If you've ever felt that way, you're absolutely right, because there is. And it's understanding, exploring the world of energy and the deeper realms of energy in terms of the hidden energies inside you. Now, I introduced that word, hidden energies. Why is that? Because they don't broadcast what's happening in us. And this is why this is why I'm bringing energy awareness training to the world. Because these voices don't explain it to you like I am, which is there's a voice inside you. It's trying to bring you into negativity, right? No one told us that when we were kids, that there's an internal mechanism that's part of our mind that that attracts negativity, that wants to torment us, that wants to lead us to a place of away from our happiness and joy. Why is that? It's the way this world works. Now, you have to know that, because if you know it, you can do something about it. But if you don't know it, that you're being influenced by energies every day and you think it's you, you're going to have a tough time. And most people have a tough time, and they're struggling, with their feelings and their emotions, and it's compounded by the stuff going on out in the world. Well, I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you a little bit of respite, and to let you know that there are tools and methods that can relieve that pressure, relieve that low vibration energy, and keep you in a place where you can be happy every day, no matter what happens. Now you think, happy every day, no matter what happens, how does that work? Because our model is usually, if things are going good, I'm happy. If things aren't going good, I'm not happy. So happiness is like a yo-yo. Today I'm happy. I don't know about tomorrow. I'm not happy today, but maybe I'll be happy tomorrow. And energy awareness training is being able to take the energies or the high frequencies, and to be able to operate in that frequency and dissolve and disconnect from the frequencies that want to take you into anxiety and stress and worry and doubt. So this is, and you're dealing with this every day. It's not like I'm telling you something new. This is the struggle that you're in every day when you're trying to, stay positive, and there are voices inside you going, oh, the virus, oh, you might get it, oh, or you see the economy is going down, it's like it's like there's an internal boogeyman inside you that's trying to take you out. We all feel that way. Well, when you're on to how this process works, you can dissolve and disconnect from the boogeyman. Okay, it takes a little bit of an effort, but you can do it. Everybody that I train does it, and you can learn how to be long-term happy. Now, the point I want to make tonight is this: self-sabotage. Now, you think about self-sabotage. I've said to you in this class earlier that there's actually two forms that are pulling at us, right? A high vibration and a low vibration. Talked about the law of duality, or the law of opposites, right? They never taught us that in class and growing up, but it doesn't make sense. If you have light, you have dark, right? If you have good, you have bad. If you have right, you have wrong. Okay. So virtually everything that we're dealing with has an opposite to it. And Why that's important, why that's really important, is because many times that opposite of what we don't want comes into the picture. And we have to learn how to manage. I always get back to relationships because they're the best example. You know, none of us get into a romantic relationship for misery, right? You don't. I don't. No one does. You get into it for happiness. You get into it for good times. Maybe you get it to find a long-term mate. And yet, there's a process in there where you're going to be dealing with things that you hadn't anticipated. You know, you have the honeymoon phase of your relationship, and then you have the challenging phase. Those of you who've been married or been in long-term relationships know what I mean. You get to a place where it isn't fun, and it isn't romantic, and it's hard work getting along with somebody else, and that brings up a whole lot of feelings that you didn't sign up for. Maybe frustration, or maybe patience, or maybe anger, or maybe all of this stuff that comes up. There was none of that in the honeymoon, but down the line, this stuff comes up. That's so important when you're energetically aware, because when you're energetically aware, you're prepared for that stuff, and you know what to do when energies, emotions, thoughts, stuff comes up that you hadn't anticipated, that's of a low vibration energy nature. Okay, so what I'm talking about tonight, when I'm talking about the self-sabotage model, it's this. None of us consciously wants to do something to harm ourselves, right? We don't get into a relationship for misery, right? We don't take a job so that we'll be abused, right? We don't go on vacation, thinking that, we're going to go to a resort where it's a hurricane, right? Yet a lot of times that stuff happens. Now, why I come back to this phrase, energy awareness training is the most important thing to study, is this. Because all of us are operating what I call an energetic program. Just like your computer has a program, whether it's a Mac OS or PC Windows, you've got an operating system. And that operating system is the way that you deal with life. It's what you believe. It's where you want to go. It's the way you behave. It's the thoughts that you think. It's the feelings that you feel. They're all of those things. Now, most of the stuff, we learn how to manage, and we think we're in control. Well, I'm here to tell you there are things that you're not in control of. And those are the things that cause you distress. So if somebody's fighting, let's say somebody's fighting a weight challenge and they're trying to lose weight, and they've been on a diet 100 times, and they lose 10 pounds and then they gain 20 back. And it's a yo-yo process, okay? And they're frustrated. I haven't been able to overcome this. I don't know what it is. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I don't know what it is. Well, what it is somewhere in your personal history, something happened that created a disruption in your energy field. Okay, follow me on this. That disruption in your energy field usually has to do with something that you experienced, usually with somebody else in a relationship or with a group of people, and it caused you some kind of pain or shame or embarrassment. And those things, when your energy gets disrupted, anything that has to do with that will be affected. And you will make decisions that you think are yours, but they're actually reactions to what happened to you during that energetic disruption. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me give you an example. So I had a student this morning, and a lot of people want to study energy awareness training, and they have certain things in mind. They have certain issues. Some people have addictions that they want to help overcome. Some people have fear of moving forward in their lives, or fear of relationships, or health challenges. The whole thing. Energy awareness training covers it all. But this particular student had the desire to get married. He had a very close family. He's from a very close family. And he thought, well, it's time for me to get married. And we were working on some goals and outcomes energetically. And I said to him, again, this is where energy comes in. I said, do you want to get married? He goes, yeah. I go, you want to have a wife and children? He goes, yeah, I want to have a family. Great. Okay. And because I can read energy, I just noticed something was kind of out, just the way he said it. And when you work with energy, when people say and speak things, you can feel and see an energy. So I kind of noticed something when he was talking about it. I said, do you have any resistance to it? Do you have any resistance to this? And he goes, well, maybe a little, I said, I think you got more than a little. So I did what's known as an energy scan. I had him close his eyes, and you can do this. You think about an issue. I said, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, when you don't want to get married at all, 10, you really do want to get married, just give yourself a number energetically, not intellectually. Just how does it feel? Because that's how you know the energies never lie. Your mind lies, but the energies never lie. So he says, well, I'd say I'm about 70% there. Oh, 70%. So 70% wants you to get married. 30% doesn't want you to get married. Okay. Well, that 30% can do in the other 70%. If you're in a boat and 30% of it, and you got a leak and 30% of it is underwater, guess what? That's going to affect the other 70%, right? If 30% of your car is not working, right, it's going to affect the other 70%. So this is a pretty big thing. And I said to him, okay, you notice some resistance, okay? And what is that resistance, do you think? And he says, well, I always second guess my decisions. You second guess your decisions. He goes, yeah. Whenever I make a decision to do something, once I decide to do it, something always better comes along, and I feel like I'm missing out, or I made the wrong decision. So I don't trust myself to make decisions. I usually, ask my family and friends. I said, oh. I said, give me an example of that. So he says, well, I was at a restaurant, and I go in and I was with my friend, and he said, try this new dish. You really like it. I said, well, I'm going to go with my traditional dish that I come here for. Well, I know I'll like that for sure. Friend says, okay. So the meal comes, and he's eating his food, and then the friend says, well, try my dish. He says, okay. So he has a couple of bites of his friend's food. He goes, oh my gosh, that's so good. I should have ordered yours. Why did I order mine? Here's another example of me making a decision that something was better. I said, wow. Okay. And he says, that happens all the time in the decision-making process I make. So I said, you basically don't trust yourself when you're making a decision, huh? He goes, yeah. Okay. Wow. So I said, has this happened? Is this showing up in your life? And she says, it's shown up time after time after time, to the point where I don't even trust myself to make the right decision. Okay. So This is kind of the work when I work with people. It's kind of like detective work. Kind of like it's very interesting. So I said, so you don't trust yourself to make decisions, okay? And you have a history of doing that. I said, okay. Well, if that keeps occurring, what that means is in your operating system, you have a program that says, I don't trust myself, and I always make the wrong decision when I have to make a big decision. That's a program. How do we know it's a program? Because it keeps showing up over and over and over and over again. And this is exactly what I was talking about at the top of the class when I was mentioning we do things that we don't want to do. We experience things that we prefer not to experience. Now, did my student say to himself, I want to make the wrong decision with everything I'm doing? No. It's the exact opposite. He wants to make the right decision. But yet there's a part of him that keeps making the wrong decision. He doesn't know what to do. He's going, a part of me wants to make the right decision, but I keep making the wrong decision. That's what we call self-sabotage. That's what we call one part of ourselves wants one thing, and there's another part of ourselves that want the other. So to translate it in energy awareness training work, there's one part that's under the control of the high vibration energy, which wants to make the right decision. But there's another part of him that's under the control of the low vibration energy. And remember, the low vibration energy wants to bring us down, wants to separate us from our good, wants to bring us into suffering. How do I know? I've experienced it, and so have you. And that's an energy we don't want to be in. So I said, well, you know what? You got a program. This is how I identify these programs. And I said, this has been an issue for you your whole life. The guy's 30 years old. Been an issue my whole life. Yeah. I said, okay. How's that feel? And he goes, it doesn't feel good. You know, it feels like I can't trust myself and I always got to look to other people for the right decision. I said, okay. So what you have is a program taking you in a certain direction. Now, by the way, you guys find this fascinating? If you do, give me a shout out on the chat. Did they ever teach you this in school? No, they never taught you this in school. Okay. I find this utterly fascinating. So I said to him, guess what's going to happen if you select a girl to get married from? Okay, those of you in the class here, I want to hear from you. What do you think is going to happen if he chooses a woman to get married with, based on what I just taught you? Can you predict the future? It's not a tough one. You just notice how the program works. The program keeps operating the same way over and over. We've got some responses here. Yeah. So you guys, what do you think's going to happen? He wants to pick a girl to marry. And the way his program works, what's going to happen to him? Just shout it out so I can hear you. Shout it out or put it on the chat. He's going to pick a girl, and then another one's going to come along, and he's going to say, I made the wrong decision again. Marry this one when I could have had this one. Remember those commercials? I could have had a V8. That, boys and girls, is an example of self-sabotage. Now, a part of him wants to find the right one and wants to be happy long term. But the other part of him, which is not conscious, it's actually unconscious, but it's part of an energetic program that he picked up. So this gets more interesting. Okay, this gets even more interesting now. So I said, it's a good thing we're talking about this. And this is what I do with my premium coaching clients. All of us have programs. All of us have programs that have brought us into places we don't like. And it's brought them into programs we don't like again and again. Now, if I told them, oh, you made the wrong decision before. Okay, well, this time make the right decision. How would that be? Would that be good? Would that work? If I said to them, okay, well, you got this pattern of making wrong decisions. Well, next time, just make the right decision. How many think that would work? Anybody on the chat? How many think that would work? Would that be effective? Would that work? I'll wait. This is an interactive class, so value your opinion. Would that work? No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work because I'm dealing with the surface issue. You know, when I talk about energy, I talk about energy being like an iceberg. 10% above the water, which is the obvious stuff, the stuff that we can see in the physical world. Then there's the 90% below the water that we can't see. It's in another reality, in the energetic reality. Now, if you can see and navigate in the energetic reality, then you can see how all this stuff works, which is what I do. I operate in the energetic reality so I can see what's causing the physical, what's causing the 10%. So I have a saying that says that which we can see, we can control, but that which we can't see controls us. So it's what he couldn't see that's controlling this, right? And he goes, help. I don't want to keep doing this. That's why I don't trust. So I keep making the same mistake, and I don't want to keep doing it, but I don't know how to fix it. Okay, well, we know how to fix it in energy awareness training. That's what we do. So let's investigate a little bit more, shall we? Shall we go a little bit deeper in? Just check the comments here. Yeah, Jeffrey. No, that's right. Manilow, that's right. No, that won't work. So let's go a little bit deeper. So I said, can you remember the first time that you ever felt that you made the wrong decision? Now, what am I doing? That program, all the programs that we have an origin point, no matter what it is. It has an origin point where it started. Now, it may have come from a past life or from heredity or the womb, whatever your belief system is, but it's showing up as something taking place right now. So I had him look into it, and he said, it took him a few minutes, but he said, I think the first time it happened when I was in first grade or something. I said, really? He goes, yeah. He said, and the teacher, it was my turn for what game we were, what show we were going to watch or what game we were going to play or something. And he goes, and I like Barney. I guess that's a game or a dinosaur or a show or something. He goes, I like Barney. And when I said Barney, all the kids went, no, we want Power Rangers. Boo, blah, blah. And here's this, what is he? What are you, 7 years old? In first grade, 6 years old? And all of a sudden, everybody hates you. You're like, what did I say? Everybody's just feeding them massive negativity. Well, when you're a 6 or 7 year old kid, and the whole class wants to, it doesn't like you, is booing you and giving you crap, that has an effect. They're like, whoa, this is not safe. I said the wrong thing. Everybody's disapproving of me and judging me, and somebody wants to hit me or something. So what happened at that moment? That triggered an energetic disruption in his 6-year-old body. And how it metastasized, so to speak, is that, when I choose what I want, I am disapproved of, I am judged, I am criticized, people yell at me, and it causes me pain. Therefore, it's not safe for me to ask for what I want. That's the program that went into that 6-year-old little boy from that experience. Now, nobody explained it to him, right? The angel didn't come down from, okay, little guy, here's what's happening. And it works like this and it works like that. No, he had no idea what happened to him. So, like most of us, when we encounter negativity or unpleasant things, we just try to ignore it and hope it'll go away. But it never goes away. And this is according to the latest research in energy psychology and medicine, that these upsets that we deal with, they don't go away. They stay stuck and they stay hidden, and they keep operating as an energetic program. So all through his life, while he's making decisions, they end up being the wrong ones. Or every time he makes a decision about something, it ends up bringing him pain or embarrassment or shame, or there's always something better. So he's continually behaving in a way that brings him stress and pain, which is low vibration energy. So this thing's going on and on. Meanwhile, he's carved out a great life. He has a successful job, good looking guy, is in shape and got an education. He's been able to function in life. It's just this one thing that he has going on that could upset him. Now, do you think that making a decision to marry someone is an important decision? Anybody think that? Is that an important decision? Or is that kind of like what do you think? Important, not important? Important. Now, if you've got a mechanism where you're programmed to, when you make decisions, that it's messed up, that you're programmed to be afraid to ask for what you want, so that you pick something that you don't want, or you pick something that doesn't satisfy you, would that be a problem in life? You better believe it would be. So thank goodness that we caught that today. And what did I do with them? I have a process that I use where I can identify and clear that process while I review and reprogram the energies so that's no longer there. Because remember, what's happening is there's a disruption. There was a disruption. It was making the decision, unpopular, not getting what I want, making the wrong decision. That was a disruption. Now, some people don't have that disruption. Some people make great decisions. They don't have that, but they got problems in other areas. So much of our lives here, you guys, are about, as we've come to live a certain amount of time on this planet, we know there's parts of our lives that work. We know there's parts of our lives that don't work, or that have caused us pain, or that keeps us in a closed loop, which becomes what I call an issue. You ever heard that phrase? You've got issues. She's got issues. Oh boy, she's got issues. What does that mean? When you say, somebody says issues, it means they've got some kind of blatant, obvious problem, usually with getting along with people, or, health, or, weight. That's a big one where people have problems with that, and it's obvious to everyone. Doesn't matter what it is. It's that as human beings, we're all dealing with stuff. And energy awareness training is all about being energetically aware. It's not about the 10%, because if you could have fixed the 10%, you would have. If I could have dealt with my baggage and my issues, or if other people could have, by just thinking positive or reading a book about it or taking a seminar, we would have done it. But it's not easy to do. You have to be energetically aware. But if you are, it can heal, and it can heal rapidly. So that's what I wanted to. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. Is the sun's starting to go down on this beautiful, beautiful summer night. This is what self-sabotage is, and those of you who are working on yourselves, who are into personal growth and personal development, and you've been frustrated. You've been frustrated because you haven't used the energetic element of it. And that's the most important thing. It's the energy. Everything else. No matter what you're dealing with, if there's a problem you don't understand, you're trying to figure out, the problem isn't in the 10%. It's in the 90%. It's in the energetic field. I work with couples very often, and couples who aren't getting along, and they've been to marriage counselors, and they've hashed out their issues, and et cetera. But I know if they tried everything in the 10%, the answer, the solution is in the 90%, is in the energetic realm. Somebody who's got inner turmoil or negative thinking, and they've been to this counselor, and they tried this therapy and this thing, and they haven't been able to find a solution. The solution is in the energies. All of it's in the energies. So when you become energetically aware, a whole new reality opens up. It's like you're going, whoa. And all the questions that you've had for years are suddenly answered. And I'm thrilled and privileged to be able to bring this to you. So if there's any questions on the chat, I'll be happy to answer them here as I get ready to close out the class here. To learn more about energy awareness training, I have a website, energyawarennesstraining.com. You can go there, look around. You can contact me on Facebook through Messenger. I do personal one-on-one coaching. I do group classes. I do seminars for businesses and organizations to teach them this stuff. Now, this is about changing your life. This is pretty powerful stuff. It's the most powerful thing that I've ever encountered, to be able to change your life and to be able to change the stuff in your life. So whatever you have a challenge at, whatever the part of your life that you haven't been able to make a breakthrough, or maybe you're dealing with a lot of the negative energy that's going on now. This has been a tough year for us all, and we're dealing with a lot of negativity. And what is that? It's energy. All of this stuff that we hear, the virus, the racial injustice, the marches, the shutdowns, man, that is a hits of low vibration energy. You want to be able to learn how to just let that stuff go. And it's not easy. It's not hard, but it takes a little bit of study and training to be able to not absorb the negativity. And most people don't know how to disconnect from that. And I show you that in energy awareness training. I do some demos on some of the other videos I have. So I have a YouTube channel. I suggest you go to YouTube, Glenn Ackerman, and check out some of my videos. And if you like this one, if you learned something from, did you guys learn something? All you guys watching me live, you learned something, give me a shout out on the chat. And let me know what you've learned, or that there's a nugget here that you became aware of. Go ahead and share this broadcast with others, for people who are dealing, because everybody's dealing with internal stuff now. You can't not, after what we've all gone through. And a lot of it can get turned inside and can activate self-sabotage patterns. And there's a solution for it. And the solution is always energetic. Okay? All right. Let me just do one more check here. All right. Yeah. You guys are welcome. So that's going to do it for class tonight. Love to hear from you all. Remember, nothing changes until energy moves. So you want to change your life? You want to change your thoughts? You want to change how you feel? Move some energy. You'll feel a lot better. All right, great. Appreciate you being with me. I'll be back with you Sunday morning for another class on energy awareness training in your life. So you guys have a great night, And I'm going to enjoy the rest of this evening here from a secret location in West Hollywood, California. All right, everyone, take care. Bye for now.